There is one energy that can pull two separated hearts back into the same destiny. One frequency that bends time, melts distance, and restores the marriage that was meant for you. Master this one energy, and your reunion becomes not a question of if, but when. Most people believe reunions happen through effort, persuasion, conversations, or chance. But the truth is much simpler and far more spiritual. Marriage reunites itself when you master the energy of inner union, not outer action, not external control. Inner union. The universe never restores what you chase. It restores what you become. And the moment you learn how to hold yourself in the energy of already being reconciled, the power that connects souls begins working on your behalf. This is the energy that heals misunderstandings, dissolves resentment, and rewrites timelines. It is the force that brings back what is divinely tied to you, not because you forced it, but because you aligned with it. You see, separation is not a punishment, it is a mirror. It reflects the state of your inner world. When your mind and heart are scattered, your relationship becomes scattered. When you doubt your worth, your partner begins reflecting that doubt. When you fear losing them, the fear itself pushes them away. But when you anchor yourself in the energy of certainty that love is yours, that the bond still exists, that the marriage still breathes, everything begins to shift. This energy becomes a silent call. Your partner feels on a level they cannot explain. They may try to move on, they may attempt to forget, but something in their heart keeps pulling them back toward you. Mastering this inner energy does not mean controlling your partner. Far from it. It means choosing your inner state with precision. It means living from the emotional frequency of reconciliation, even before it shows up in physical form. It means seeing your marriage restored in your mind so clearly that doubt cannot survive. This is the energy that fixes what words cannot fix. This is the power that softens what logic cannot soften. When you carry the energy of reunion inside you, the universe makes reunion inevitable. Most people sabotage their reunion without realizing it. They think about what went wrong, replay conversations, rehearse pain, and analyze every detail. But thinking from separation only creates more separation. Thinking from pain only creates more pain. The universe responds not to your memories, but to your energetic state right now. If your energy says it's over, the universe agrees. If your energy says we are still connected, the universe aligns with that. If your energy says we are reunited, everything begins moving in that direction. This is why inner energy matters more than anything you say or do. You must become the version of yourself who is already reunited, calm, confident, grounded, whole, at peace. This version of you doesn't beg, doesn't chase, doesn't fear. They know, they trust, they embody the marriage as if it is already restored. And because energy drives experience, your partner begins feeling pulled back into your life, pulled back into your presence, and pulled back into the connection they once tried to silence. Reunion energy feels like certainty. It feels like peace. It feels like trust in a timeline that you can't yet see. This energy doesn't argue. It doesn't panic. It doesn't replay old pain. It simply holds the truth quietly and powerfully. This marriage is meant to be restored. When you master this, you stop fighting with the current of life. You start flowing with it. You stop telling the universe what you fear and start affirming what you choose. In that moment, healing begins, not just for you, but for your partner too. Because when your energy changes, theirs begins to shift. The energy of inner union is the most magnetic force in love. When you hold it, you don't have to take massive action. You don't have to beg the universe for signs. You don't have to watch constantly to see if they are coming back. You simply align with the version of reality where the reunion is already happening. And because your inner world is the blueprint for your outer world, life begins mirroring your inner certainty. This is how messages begin arriving. Opportunities open, conversations unfold, and reconciliation occurs. You must understand something powerful. Your partner is energetically connected to you even in silence, even in distance, even when communication has stopped. They feel the shifts you make within yourself. When you master the energy of union, they feel the stability. They feel the peace. They feel the openness. They feel the warmth. And something in them softens. Something in them becomes curious. Something in them remembers the connection that never died. This is how reunion begins, not with a text message, but with an energetic shift inside you. Most marriages break not from lack of love, but from lack of emotional alignment. Fear, insecurity, resentment, pride. These energies create distance faster than words ever could. But when you choose to release these energies and step into the vibration of love, acceptance, and certainty, you begin repairing the bond without saying a single word. You begin healing the invisible threads that tie two souls together. And once that healing begins, reunion becomes natural. To master this energy, you must practice it daily. Not just once. Not when you feel good. Not when your partner behaves the way you want, but consistently, intentionally, and with commitment. You must embody the emotional reality of being reunited, even when your physical reality has not yet caught up. You must speak to yourself from the perspective of the outcome you desire, not from the pain of the moment. You must treat your heart as if it is already home. Imagine waking up each day with the quiet conviction that reconciliation is unfolding. Imagine feeling peace instead of panic, gratitude instead of fear, stability instead of longing. Imagine carrying yourself with the grace of someone whose marriage is already restored. This energy becomes your alignment point. It becomes your foundation. It becomes the magnetic field that draws your partner closer without effort, without force, without desperation. Reunion requires emotional mastery, not emotional reaction. Reaction keeps you stuck. Mastery moves you forward. Reaction keeps you repeating old cycles. Mastery breaks them. Reaction focuses on what went wrong. Mastery focuses on what is becoming right. When you master this energy, you start responding to life from a place of power. You stop allowing circumstances to dictate your emotions. You choose emotions that dictate your future. This is how restoration begins, from the inside out. The universe does not restore marriages through chaos. It restores them through alignment. It restores them through clarity. It restores them through two hearts vibrating at a frequency that matches unity, not conflict. And when you become the first heart to shift, the second begins shifting without even realizing why. Your energy becomes the catalyst. Your transformation becomes the invitation. Your certainty becomes the force that brings the two of you back into harmony. This one energy, the energy of inner union, is the single most powerful force in relationship restoration. When you master it, everything begins to move. You receive intuitive nudges. You feel inner guidance. You know when to act and when to remain still. You sense when the timing is right. You attract moments that bridge the distance. You encounter opportunities that create reconnection. You find yourself in the right places at the right time. This is how divine reunion unfolds, not chaotically, but beautifully. The path to reunion is not about fixing the past. It is about aligning with the future you desire. It is about stepping into the version of yourself who is whole, healed, loving, and grounded. When you live from this place, love returns naturally. The connection deepens, forgiveness flows easier, clarity replaces confusion, and both partners feel pulled into a future that feels emotionally safe and spiritually destined. Your marriage reunion is closer than you think, but it begins with you mastering this one energy, the energy of inner union. When you hold this vibration, the universe has no option but to gather the pieces, restore the bond, and realign the two of you in divine timing. This is not hope. This is not luck. This is not chance. This is spiritual law. Become the embodiment of reunion, and your reunion becomes inevitable. Marriage reunion begins the moment you master the inner energy of already being united again. When you hold this feeling within yourself, your heart stops living in fear and begins living in certainty. You create a spiritual atmosphere where reconciliation feels natural instead of distant. This energy softens your own emotions, making you more open, calm, and receptive. Without realizing it, you begin aligning with the version of life where love is restored. Your inner world becomes a sanctuary instead of a battlefield. Every thought you choose builds the bridge back toward your partner. Every emotion you heal clears space for them to return. This energy becomes your strength, not your weakness. It becomes the signal that travels beyond distance. When you embody reunion inside, reunion outside becomes the only possible outcome. And slowly everything begins moving in your favor without force. Reconciliation accelerates when you stop thinking from separation and start thinking from union. The more you focus on the distance, the pain grows. But when you focus on unity, healing begins. Your mind plays a powerful role in shaping your reality, and shifting your thoughts shifts your vibration instantly. When your thoughts imagine harmony, your emotions begin feeling lighter. You stop replaying the past and start creating a new emotional future. You become someone who expects reconnection rather than doubts it. This mindset opens the spiritual door your partner can walk through. As you think from unity, life aligns with unity. Your heart becomes more peaceful, your energy more attractive, your presence more magnetic. This is how the invisible begins shaping the visible. And in that shift, your marriage naturally moves back toward you. Your partner feels your inner shift long before they return physically, because energy travels faster than words. Even if there's silence between you, the connection never disappears. It simply moves deeper. When you rise energetically, they feel the difference in ways they cannot explain. Something in their spirit becomes drawn back toward you, even if their mind tries to resist. They feel the release of tension, the softening of old wounds, the warmth of your new emotional frequency. This shift makes them remember the bond instead of the conflict. It makes them feel safer approaching you again. Without communication, your transformation reaches them. Without seeing you, your light touches them. Without speaking, your energy whispers to their heart. This is why inner work matters. It influences them from afar, and slowly their soul begins moving in your direction. When you hold the vibration of peace instead of fear, the universe aligns your paths back together with perfect timing. Peace is the most magnetic energy for reconciliation, because it signals trust instead of desperation. When peace becomes your emotional home, your decisions become clearer, and your presence becomes gentler. You stop reacting from old wounds and start responding from inner strength. This creates a shift that the universe cannot ignore. Peace has a way of attracting circumstances that match it. Messages appear unexpectedly. Encounters unfold naturally. Moments of reconnection seem divinely orchestrated. Fear pushes love away, but peace pulls it closer. Peace opens the door that fear kept locked. And in this calm vibration you become aligned with the reality where reunion is not forced, it is guided. Inner union dissolves the emotional patterns that created distance and opens the door for reunion. Many separations are not caused by lack of love, but by unresolved emotional habits. When you change your energy, those habits lose power. You stop responding from insecurity and begin responding from self-worth. You release the fear of losing the connection and start trusting the bond. This inner shift directly changes the energy between you and your partner. It softens their resistance and reduces the emotional walls they built. When the patterns that pushed them away dissolve, the pathway for reconnection clears. Your transformation becomes their invitation to return. Your inner healing becomes the correction the relationship always needed. And in this renewed space, love becomes easier to rebuild. Reunion becomes inevitable when you embody the version of yourself who is already restored and confident. This version of you does not beg, chase, or fear rejection. They know their worth, trust their connection, and stand strong in their emotional truth. When you step into this identity, everything in your life shifts. You no longer operate from scarcity. You operate from fullness. You begin to speak, think, and feel like someone who believes in their happy ending. This version of you naturally attracts reconciliation because confidence is magnetic. Confidence removes pressure, removes fear, removes emotional heaviness. It creates a safe field where your partner can return without tension. When you embody restoration within, restoration in reality follows. And soon the version of you who doubted becomes unrecognizable. Your transformed energy becomes the silent magnet that draws your partner back into your life. You don't need to force anything. Your presence itself becomes an invitation. When the heaviness in your heart lifts, the connection becomes easier for them to feel. When your energy is lighter, they feel more drawn to your softness. When you stop sending out vibrations of hurt, they stop feeling repelled by the past. Transformation creates a gravitational pull that even distance cannot break. They feel safer thinking of you, safer approaching you, safer imagining a future with you. Your energy becomes the bridge between separation and reunion. It becomes the doorway where love re-enters. And without effort, without pressure, without desperation, your partner finds their way back with clarity and certainty.